All right, we are at number 7 of our Features of Civilization. We are talking about public works. And public works are really come out of the development of organized government, which was boop, boop, number 3. All right. And you want to remember that government was established to protect people, to organize society, to coordinate large scale projects that benefited the community, and to regulate a surplus of food. So, public works really come out of the work of government. All right, so let's dig in. Um, so, the definition, which we've already talked about in class a little bit, are structures as roads, dams, or post offices paid for the government fund, paid for by government funds for public use. So the government would order these things to happen, and they still do today. A lot of times they're costly. They're paid for by collecting taxes, and they really aim to benefit the community and serve a purpose. So, looking at our notes, okay, we already did architecture. So, public works. All right, so public works were projects financed by the government that benefited the people. Examples of public works for ancient civilizations include roads, canals, and defensive walls. Um, what you want to remember is they're collecting, the government's collecting taxes from people, all right, in order to fund these projects. And included in that could be temples. Today, when we think about public works, we think about roads and bridges and libraries and schools, um, and parks. Um, all of those things are public works.
In the midst of a migration crisis in Europe, and strident talk and a standoff about building a wall on the US Mexican border, people around the world are resorting to an old strategy: building walls. Historically, walls have a decidedly mixed record in achieving their goals to keep some people out and others in. While good fences may make good neighbors, as the old cliche has it, neighborliness has not been the reason behind most of history's major wall projects. Here's a look at the most famous of these insular architectural projects. Number 1, the Wall of Jericho. The biblical Wall of Jericho is one of the earliest examples of a defensive wall constructed by a community. Two sets of walls found in Jericho and excavated by Ernest Sellin and Karl Watzinger date back to anywhere between 1950 BCE and 1550 BCE. But the earliest evidence of a wall is believed to date to 7825 BCE. The most famous wall of Jericho, however, is the one mentioned in the biblical account of the wall that the Israelites destroyed using the Ark of the Covenant in the book of Joshua. The wall is believed to have stood 5 feet thick, anywhere between 12 and 17 feet tall, surrounded by a 27-foot wide and 9-foot deep ditch. It's hypothesized that the Wall of Jericho was constructed not only for defensive purposes, but also to protect the city from floods and for ceremonial usages. The Tower of Jericho may have been a means to draw individuals into the city. After the wall came tumbling down, according to the biblical text, every man, woman, and child in the city of Jericho was put to the sword, save for the family who harbored Israeli spies during the siege. Number 2.
Okay, all right. So, a wall, like they're talking about in the video, would be something that would be an example of public works. All right, folks, that is a wrap on public works.